I don't want your black power. If your idea of black power is you pretty much screaming how much of a victim you are, then you can have it. I don't want it. I don't need it. I'm actually doing much better without it. It's like, you ever see two people fighting and they're rolling around on the ground making fools out of themselves to the point where everyone's laughing at them? And I'm not talking about them actually like killing each other, but you know, the two guys that always go at it and finally they fight, and then it just looks so stupid that you're laughing. And you hear one of them say something dumb, like one of them gets knocked down and the other one's on top of him. And the one that got knocked down is like, get off me, man. I'm gonna knock you out. You know, let me up. And the other person's like, you lost, give it up. And the person on the ground's like, just let me up. Just let me up. I'm gonna show you if you let me up. Just stop holding me down. Just stop holding me down. And I've seen so many fights like that, and it's so stupid. It's like, if you're so powerful, why are you on the ground? If you're so powerful, why do you have to tell the person, I'm going to knock you out if you let me up? Oh, you don't believe me? Then stop holding me down. Let me up and I'll knock you out. Do you have an idea how dumb that is? Well, that is exactly how proponents of black power sound when you yell black power, but you yell also that you're a victim. It sounds literally just like that. I don't want your black power if the mindset is black power if you change what you're doing. You know, black power, I can have black power if you stop doing this to me or that. That's not black power. That's admitting submission, actually. That's a slave mentality. That's a victim mentality. That is not black power. Power is saying, regardless of whatever you do to me, I'm going to shine. You know, the whole still I rise thing. Power is like, look, you can do whatever you want to me, and I may be down now, but I'm going to get it together and I'm going to overcome it without your help. And in spite of you, I'm going to overcome myself, and I'm going to overcome whatever else comes my way. That's power, that's dignity, that's respect. The idea of power, the idea of strength and all of that, it's an internal thing. It's not an internal thing. It's not based on the people around you at all whatsoever. It's not based on circumstances. It's something from within you. So if you believe in that black people should be powerful, if you believe that black people should be successful or whatever, then you have to start looking within. Not saying that there aren't obstacles, not saying that there aren't challenges, not saying that there isn't opposition, but that's not power. That's not power. You know, if you look at the civil rights movement, if you look at back in the Jim Crow era and that sort of thing, black families did much better under worse circumstances. During the civil rights movement, they actually had a movement that actually changed the laws. Yeah, there were still a lot of racist people out there, but they actually got things done. Now, if you compare that, you compare what our ancestors had to go through and how much they accomplished compared to how much they had to go through, and you look at how much things are better for us today and how little we get accomplished, that's not power. That's weakness. And the reason is there's a lot of anger going around. There's a lot of passion that people have, but it's not directed towards anything that's going to garner any change. It's directed, protesting the flag is not going to stop a policeman from killing a black person. It's just not. Not buying something on Black Friday. When a cop pulls a black person over, whether he's racist, whether he's not racist, how that situation, if that situation is going to go bad, it has no bearing. That person is not thinking about whether or not you bought a flat screen TV a couple months ago. That's not how things work. Those things are completely worthless. And that's not to say that the people aren't impassioned. It's not to say that, we shouldn't do anything or whatever. But you got to think about what you're doing. If you really believe in black power, then what you're going to do is you're going to encourage the people around you to exhibit that power. You're not going to go to the enemy or the obstacles or the oppressors, whatever it is that you think is holding your people back. You're not going to go to them and say, hey guys, I need you to tone this down because I need black people to be powerful. If you believe a black person is powerful, you're going to get them to bring it out of themselves. You're not going to go to the enemy or the other side, so to speak. You're going to go to that person and say, what are you doing? Get yourself together. You can do this. And you'll challenge them to be better. But yet, when you challenge black people to be better, they call you Uncle Tom. They call you a coon. They call you everything. They will do everything in their power to get you to stop from challenging them. That's not power. That's cowardice. That's a slave mindset. That's I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what else to say. If you have a woman that's really beautiful, right? But let's say other people are telling her she's not beautiful and she's starting to believe it, and she's human, she's having doubts or whatever. Are you going to go to the other people and say, hey, she's really beautiful, stop calling her unattractive? Or are you going to go to her and say, look, you're fine. Like, look, don't worry about what people think. Be comfortable in yourself. You're all right. You look good. Look at the mirror. You convince yourself. You know, that's how you handle things. You know, if you if you genuinely believe that there's a power there that can be manifested, you would do your best to bring out that power. Once you get the ball moving, once you start building, then you deal with the obstacles that you feel like should not be there. But the idea that the so-called power movement, you know, and all of that stuff, the idea that 99.9% of the energy that you put out is not building and encouraging and inspiring and leading by example, but it's complaining. It is having a mindset of woe is me. It's having a mindset of I can't do anything until they change the rules or until they stop being a bully. Like, the loudest people, the people that's supposed to be the leaders, have this mindset. And you wonder why our communities aren't really changing. There's people doing stuff. There's people building and that sort of thing and growing, but it's not if you look at what you call the so-called Black Power movement or the rights movement, whatever you want to say in terms of advancement of black people today, it is not a positive thing. It is not, you know, showing that, you know, you see much more of complaining and whining and begging for the white man to do stuff for you than you see of this entire neighborhood had all of their 12th graders graduate. Things like that, you know, like just things like that. Now you'll see, you know, clips on Facebook where it's like this entire senior class of this college, they all got their bachelors and things like that is awesome. That is awesome. But that's a very, very small minority of any kind of so-called representation of power that you see. And if your mindset to this video is, well, that's because the white man's doing this, or that's because the government doing, well, that means that you don't believe that black people are powerful. And if you believe that, that is nothing wrong with believing that. That's actually what most people teach. If you listen to them talk about the state of the black community, that in effect is ultimately what they're teaching. They're really teaching black people are not functionally capable of helping themselves. So if that's your honest opinion, that's your honest opinion. And I won't dog you for that. I won't dog you for that. But don't say that you believe that black people are powerful, they're almighty, but then you turn around and treat them with kid gloves and act like everything that happens to them is not because that they have the power to make decisions. It's automatically the power of someone else more powerful than them superimposing their will on them. That's contradictory. That's not black power, and I don't want anything like that.